भवेत्। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर् गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः। गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। कस्तूरी तिलकं ललाटपटले वक्षस्थले कौस्तुभम् नासाग्रे वरमौक्तिकं करतले वेणुः करे कङ्कणम् सर्वाङ्गे हरिचन्दनं सुललितं कण्ठे च मुक्तावली गोपस्त्री परिवेष्टितो विजयते गोपालचूडामणि नमः कमलना भाय नमः कमल मालिने नमः कमल पादाय नमस्ते कमलेक्षण यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तग्वं हा देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Eternally divine souls, let's do Roop Dhyan using book number 2, page 127. Radhe Govind Govind Bol. Prishta Sankhya 127, 127, book 2. So as I said, let's do Roop Dhyan. Let's meditate on the Supreme Sri Radha and Krishna by singing their glorious names and by communicating with them using these divine words. Once again, if you're coming in, book number is 2, page 127. Radhe Govind Govind Bol, Radhe Radhe Govind Bol,
Radhe Govind Govind Bol, Radhe Radhe Govind Bol,
Radhe Govind Radhe Govind Govind Bol, Radhe Radhe Govind Bol,
Radhe Govind Govind Bol, Radhe Radhe Govind Bol,
Radhe 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 Govind Bol,
Radhe 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 Govind Bol,
Radhe 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 गोविंद बोल।
राधे 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 गोविंद बोल।
तेरो राधे गोविंद प्राण,
तेरो राधे गोविंद प्राण।
तेरो राधे गोविंद प्राण।
तेरो राधे गोविंद प्राण।
अस कहा पुनि पुनि सब श्रुति पुराण।
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 मन गांठ कपट की खोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
मन गांठ कपट की खोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
मन गांठ कपट की खोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
मन गांठ कपट की खोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे 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 गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
नामी हरु नाम समान मान।
नामी अरु नाम समान मान।
नामी अरु नाम समान मान।
नामी अरु नाम समान मान।
दोन महादोन वास जान।
दोन महादोन वास जान।
दोन महादोन वास जान।
दोन महादोन वास जान।
यह हीरा
राधे
यह हीरा जान अनमोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
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 राधे गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे गोविंद 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 बोल,
राधे 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 गोविंद 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 बोल,
राधे गोविंद 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 बोल,
राधे गोविंद, राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल,
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल,
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल,
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
चिन्मय चेतन है युगल नाम,
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 नहीं काल नियम नहीं नियम धाम,
नहीं काल नियम नहीं नियम धाम,
नहीं काल नियम नहीं नियम धाम,
नहीं काल नियम नहीं नियम धाम।
पीवु प्रेम
राधे,
पीवु प्रेम सुधारस घोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल,
पीयू प्रेम सुधारस घोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल,
पीवु प्रेम सुधारस घोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल,
पीयू प्रेम सुधारस घोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल,
राधे गोविंद 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 बोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल,
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
सेवा ही अपना साध्य जान,
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 सम नरक स्वर्ग अपवर्ग मान,
सम नरक स्वर्ग अपवर्ग मान,
सम नरक स्वर्ग अपवर्ग मान,
सम नरक स्वर्ग अपवर्ग मान।
है प्रबल
राधे,
है प्रबल लाल सामोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल,
है प्रबल लाल सा मोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल,
है प्रबल लाल सा, प्रबल लाल सा मोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
है प्रबल लाल सामोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे 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 गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे गोविंद
राधे
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद
Everyone please sing and clap.
बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
बस एक ज्ञान को राखु ध्यान।
बस एक ज्ञान को राखू ध्यान।
बस एक ज्ञान को राखु ध्यान।
बस एक ज्ञान को राखू ध्यान।
उन्हीन सुख महानिज सुख ही मान।
उन्हीन सुख मानिज सुख ही मान।
उन्हीन सुख महा निज सुख ही मान।
उन्हीन सुख मानिज सुख ही मान।
बिनु मोल
राधे
बिनु मोल रतन ले मोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
बिनु मोल रतन ले मोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
बिनु मोल रतन ले मोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
बिनु मोल रतन ले मोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे 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 गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे गोविंद
राधे
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
सच तो है स्वामी सदृश नाम।
सच तो है स्वामी सदृश नाम,
सच तो है स्वामी सदृश नाम,
सच तो है स्वामी सदृश नाम,
है नित्य दास स्वामिनी श्याम,
है नित्य दास स्वामिनी श्याम,
है नित्य दास स्वामिनी श्याम,
है नित्य दास स्वामिनी श्याम।
ले नाम
राधे,
ले नाम प्रेम रस घोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
ले नाम प्रेम रस घोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
रसना सोरठ नित प्रति राधे।
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 राधे 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 राधे
राधे राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे।
रसना सोरठ नित प्रति राधे।
रसना सोरठ नित प्रति राधे।
सुमिरन नहीं छूटे पल आधे।
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 संग बजे
राधे।
संग बजे चंग ढप ढोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
संग बजे चंग ढप ढोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
संग बजे चंग ढप ढोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
संग बजे चंग ढप ढोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
श्रुति झूठे ही समदर्शी बखान।
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 हमरे मत है कृपालु भगवान।
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 दिया खोल
राधे
दिया खोल रसिक जन पोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
दिया खोल रसिक जन पोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
दिया खोल रसिक जन पोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
दिया खोल रसिक जन पोल, राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे 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 गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे गोविंद
राधे
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद
झांझ बजाइए।
गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे
राधे
गोविंद बोल।
गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद
राधे
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
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 राधे गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे 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 गोविंद 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 बोल।
राधे गोविंद
राधे
गोविंद
गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल। राधे राधे गोविंद बोल।
राधे 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 गोविंद बोल।
राधे 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 गोविंद बोल
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 राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल राधे राधे गोविंद बोल
राधे गोविंद गोविंद बोल राधे राधे गोविंद बोल
बोलिए श्री राधा कृष्ण भगवान की जय सियावर रामचंद्र की जय श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय Devotional listeners, now I request your full attention as I continue with and conclude the topic of Ram and Ramayan. Would you kindly check your cell phone to make sure it has been turned off? Thank you. The Ramayan is extremely helpful to us in the practice of devotion. We learn so many lessons from the Ramayan. We learn how to practice devotion. We learn how to fulfill the aim of our life through the Ramayan. The Ramayan teaches us how to accumulate devotion, but it also tells us how to save that devotion, not to waste it. So in this final talk on the Ram and Ramayan, I would like to go over what Ramayan says about how to protect the devotion that we are practicing. The Ramayan says, Bal bharu baas narak kartata, dusht sang jani dei vidhata. It is better, my Lord, that you send me to hell to live than to give me the company of the wrong people. Wrong association, bad association is so damaging to our devotional practice that it is better that we live in hell. That is saying a lot. You see, if one is put in hell, hell is not forever and ever. As our Hindu scriptures explain, it is for a limited period of time. One comes out of hell and then is born again. One is born again and again in lower forms of life, and then sometimes receiving the best form of life, the human form of life. But at least that's limited time. But if one gets into wrong association, wrong company, then those thoughts, wrong thoughts, stay in the mind of that individual. And they stay with him not only for one lifetime, but for lifetime after lifetime. So Ramayan teaches us that we should protect our devotion from wrong association, from wrong company. Kusang. Kusang, made of two words, ku and sang. Ku means bad, sang means association. From the Ramayan, we learn the damaging effects of kusang. Before I continue, may I ask you to move further, please, up both sides? Thank you. We learn about Kaikeyi, one of the three queens of King Dashrath. King Dashrath has three queens: Kaushalya, who gave birth to Ram; Kaikeyi, who gave birth to Bharat; and Sumitra, who gave birth to Lakshman and Shatrughna. And we know the story of Ramayan, most of us do, that Kaikeyi loved Bhagwan Shri Ram. He was not born from her womb, but she loved him. He was not her biological child, but she loved him even more than Bharat, her biological child. But Manthara was her maidservant, and Manthara gave her kusang. Manthara said something to Kaikeyi that Kaikeyi's mind completely turned over. She was not the same. Manthara came to Kaikeyi one day and said, "My queen, have you heard the news?" "What news?" "The news of Ram being coronated as a king." "Oh, that happy news, of course. I have heard it. Of course I know that Ram being the eldest, he is going to become the king, and I'm so happy. Aren't you?" "I'm delirious with happiness," said Kaikeyi. And Manthara said, "My queen, you are so naive." "What do you mean?" The Manthara said to Kaikeyi, "Do you know that Ram is the son of Kaushalya? So Kaushalya's status will go, it will rise up, and yours will fall down. You'll become a mere maidservant, while Kaushalya becomes the main queen. Don't you realize that?" Hearing these words, Kaikeyi scolded Manthara. She said, "How dare you? How dare you speak like this to me? You know that Ram is more dear, more precious to me than Bharat. I am the happiest person today. And you tell me these things? You tell me you're speaking such words to me? Get out of my sight." Manthara went away but returned. And she was relentless. She kept on telling Kaikeyi, "You should ask for 2 boons. You remember the time when you saved King Dasharath's life in the battlefield and he granted you 2 boons? You should ask for 2 boons. You should ask that Ram be banished to the forest for 14 years and that your son Bharat be made the king." Again, Kaikeyi was furious. But Manthara was very persistent. So eventually, hearing this again and again, Kaikeyi changed her mind. And she thought, indeed, my son should become the king, and I'll become the favorite of the king. I'll become favorite of my husband, Dasharath, because my son will be the ruler. And let Ram go on exile for 14 years. Kusang, through words, changed Kaikeyi's mind. And she who loved Ram more than Bharat, she came to the conclusion that she should indeed ask for these 2 boons. And she did. We are sadhaks, that means we are aspiring devotees. This stage is the very first stage, sadhana avastha. Here we are practicing devotion and we are trying any which way to control our mind and to focus on Bhagwan. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not impossible, but it's not easy. We try every which way. We try to coax the mind. We try to threaten the mind. We do many things. And we take the mind to God. And the mind comes away to the world. The mind is thinking about Radha Rani and Shyam Sundar, in a beautiful Kunj, in the beautiful Madhavi Kunj in Vrindavan, and all of a sudden, in that Kunj come some worldly people. Who are these people? That's my brother, my sister, my best friend. All these people come. We start thinking about the world. And then we scold the mind, and then we again we take God, we take Radha and Krishna to where the mind has gone. And then again, mind is thinking about God. And again, the mind runs away to the world without our noticing it. Sometimes when we are in a 2-hour session of Kirtan, it may be an hour, maybe that an hour later we notice that our mind, we're not thinking about God. That we are thinking about all sorts of things. How dare he say that to me? And I've got to do that tomorrow. I've got to pack my lunch. I've got to do the dishes. I've got to do the laundry. I've got to go to the bank. I've got to do shopping. I've got to get the groceries. And I love my child so much. So many thoughts come into the mind. Thoughts of affection for the world. Thoughts of hatred. Thoughts of envy. Thoughts of greed. All these thoughts come in. And we think to ourselves, oh my goodness, here I am sitting for an hour trying to think of God by doing bhajan and kirtan. My mind is out there in the world. Mind says to the body, you stay here in the mandir. I'll go and make my rounds all over Hamilton. I'll go to Toronto. I'll go even further. I'll go to Paris. I'll go visit the Eiffel Tower. I'll go to visit the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I'll go to the Great Wall of China. I'll go to the Taj Mahal in Agra in India. मन कहता है ना शरीर से कि तुम यहीं बैठो मंदिर में, मैं संसार में घूम के आता हूँ. So we find at this stage of devotional practice that our mind is very unruly and it is extremely worldly. And we make lots of efforts to focus the mind on God. But as you know, practice makes perfect. So when we practice doing something, we become good at it. Same thing with devotion. We become better at it because we have practiced. We are practicing. And wonderful thing is this, that God and Guru give us so much reward for just a little bit of practice. जो तू धावे एक पग तो मैं धाऊं 60. This is so encouraging. God says, you just walk one step towards me. Take a baby step towards me, and I will run 60 steps to meet you. So much reward for just a little bit of an effort. So because we have made the effort, because we are making the effort, eventually we'll get to a point, a next level of devotion, and that is called Bhav Bhakti. Bhav Bhakti. At this stage, the devotee does not have to coax the mind or to threaten the mind or to explain lots of things to the mind. The mind says, I'm ready. I'm ready to think about Krishna. I'm ready to think about Bhagwan Sri Ram. I'm ready. I like thinking about God. You do? Yes, I do. That's the time when a person says, 12 hours of kirtan. They just passed by. They flew by like 2 hours. That's it. Earlier, 2 hours of satsang seemed such a punishment. It's such a punishment. I'm looking at the watch and it seems the time is standing still. 2 hours. It seems like 5-6 hours. But then in Bhav Bhakti stage, 12 hours seem to go by like one moment even. Because the mind is very interested in thinking about God. वो ना रस मिलने लगता है भाव भक्ति में. साधना अवस्था में हम बहुत कोशिश करते हैं मन लग जाए. मन बार बार हट जाता है, संसार में चला जाता है. हम बार बार कोशिश करते हैं उसको वापस लाने की. लेकिन जब भाव भक्ति में पहुंच जाएंगे तो मन अपने आप भगवान की भक्ति करेगा. उसको अच्छा लगेगा, उसको रस मिलने लगेगा. मुझे अच्छा लगता है. संसारी रस उसके लिए फीके पड़ जाते हैं. So in the Bhav Bhakti stage, at that stage, the mind finds the name of God and God himself very delightful. Very delightful. And the world seems pale. The world with its multicolors and it's so colorful. There are so many things going on, so many events, so many activities. But to that mind, the world seems hollow and tasteless. He finds nectar in thinking of God. But even at the Bhav Bhakti stage, if one falls into kusang, if one hears something which is adverse to devotion, if one gets any kind of kusang, falls into wrong company, hears the wrong thing and reads the wrong thing and sees something very wrong, very worldly, then his mind can become very corrupt. Even at that Bhav Bhakti stage, he'll fall down. He'll go down back to square one. Bhavopya bhava mayati Krishna preshtha paradhatah. Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. We are not at the Bhav Bhakti stage. We are at the Sadhan Bhakti stage. We are novices. So we must take great precautions to protect the devotion that we are practicing, that we are accumulating. There are many examples we hear about that teach us, that tell us that kusang or wrong association can damage a person so badly. It's incredible how much damage can take place. We hear the story of Saubhari Muni, who was meditating underwater. He was so advanced. And one day he saw two fish mating and he thought, I am depriving myself of carnal pleasures. Why should I? I should also get married. He was very old, and yet he came out of the water and he went out searching for a bride for himself. Who would give him a bride? He's a very old man with a long white beard. Who would consent to marrying him? And he has no money either. Who's going to consent to marry him? Nothing. He has nothing. So he went to the king, Mandhata, who had 50 daughters, 50 princesses. When the king heard the proposal, when he heard the desire of Saubhari, he thought, how can I be so cruel to any one of my daughters? But how can I say no to him? He may put a curse on me. So the king very shrewdly said, Maharaj, please come back tomorrow. And tomorrow I will arrange for a swayamvar. My daughters will be presented before you, and any one of them who chooses you will place a flower garland around your neck. So the following day, Saubhari Muni went, but he looked very different. He used his powers of yoga, and he transformed himself into an extremely handsome young man. And when he came back, the king didn't recognize him. But he said, I am the same. I have powers of yoga. So the 50 princesses were brought there, and all of them had a flower garland each in her hand. And each one of them garlanded Saubhari. Because he was so handsome, he was so young, so desirable. So they all garlanded him. Now this man who used to meditate underwater, he was so much into meditation and he was so away from the material world. Now he gets married to 50 girls. He, using his powers of yoga, he comes up with 50 forms of his. He assumes 50 forms. He lives in 50 palaces. Each one of his wife has many children, and it's a pretty good-sized community. The whole family makes up a community. You know, if they have a satsang at home, although he was so far away from satsang, but if he had a satsang at home, they wouldn't need to invite anybody else because there would be hundreds of them. It was such a big family. And this went on for years and years. After years and years of all this, then one day Saubhari Muni sat down and he thought about where he was and where he is now. And he said, Aho imam pashyatame vinasham. Manusho, mera vinash to dekho. Look at what has happened to me. I was meditating underwater, and now I am married, and I have so many children and grandchildren. I have become such a householder. So this is the power of kusang. And we should not think that, someone came along and said something against God and against saints. And I just heard it, and he's a fool. No, don't listen. Do not listen. What should I do? It'd be rude to walk away. Go ahead, be rude. But walk away. Save yourself. Tulsidas ji even says, if someone speaks against God and saints, cut off his tongue. But there's another method, which is to walk away. Just walk away. Don't listen. You may think, that was just a little something he said. It's not going to damage me. But Narad Muni, sage Narad says in Narad Bhakti Darshan, he says, no. Duhsangaha sarvatha tyajyaha. Duhsangaha sarvathaiva tyajyaha. wrong association should be avoided completely. Because it may seem like a small thing, but tarangayita api me. It may seem like a little wave, a small wave in the ocean. What's a little wave? It's nothing. But tarangayita api me sangat samudrayanti. That one small wave, it will become an ocean. It will become so damaging that it will drown you. It will take you down. So wrong association is extremely, extremely damaging. It doesn't take long, it doesn't take a long time for a worldly mind to be convinced of something wrong. It's happening every day. It's happening through so many different channels. That wrong association can come to us, that kusang can come to us in the form of someone's words. We hear those words and our mind is affected. Words are very powerful. Very powerful. Those words can inspire someone to greatness, and words can take someone down and make him despondent. Words can start wars. Words can be very dangerous, and words can be extremely beneficial. Words have great amount of power. When Jagadguru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, when Shri Maharaj speaks, when he used to speak, it was a powerful experience that you had. Even now, when you hear Shri Maharaj's lectures, then you feel the goosebumps. You feel the truth, the beauty of the truth that he is speaking. Because he is a saint, Sant Shiromani, Rasik Shiromani, and his words are filled with divine power, and those words impact us. But unfortunately, the wrong words also impact us. They have greater impact on us than the words of a saint. So kusang comes to us in the form of words. It can also come to us in the form of food and drink. Someone says, now you've come from India, you're in Canada, I know the culture over here is different, and yeah, you didn't grow up with alcohol and so on, but it's the culture. It's nothing. It's just beer. It's just wine. It's nothing. It's just like you want to belong, don't you? Have a bottle. Drink. It's good for you. You don't want to be left out. And our scriptures are saying what? One of the 5 greatest sins is drinking alcohol. How soon we forget that. One of the 5 Panch Mahapap, one of them is to drink alcohol. And so many people tell me about smoking and drinking. You know, I was just given some alcohol to drink, and I didn't like it at first. But then I started drinking thinking, I want to belong to this group. And then eventually I started liking it, and eventually I just couldn't do without it. And now I'm trying to quit. Same thing with smoking. Oh, I was in college and I didn't smoke for so many years, and then all of a sudden somebody just said, hey, just try it. You don't have to smoke a lot, just try it. And then I became addicted one day. It comes to us, kusang comes to us in the form of food and drink, and food-wise too. Our scriptures recommend sattvic food which is vegetarian, food which is freshly cooked, food which has not been over-fried, over-spiced, food which is mostly in its original form. But if you go to somebody's house and they give you a big bowl of salad to eat, then, you know, most people say, "Ye kya ghas poos rakh di mere samne? Am I an animal? I'm going to eat all this?" Ghas poos, we call it. Healthy food. Because we think that being given kachori and puri and halwa and all that fried food and all those sweets, gulab jamun, rasgulla, that by giving me that, you show me respect. But our scriptures say that that's a lot of kusang in there too, because that's rajasic food and tamasi food. So eat sattvic food. Ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhi. Sattva shuddhau dhruva smriti. Chandogya Upanishad says, if you eat sattvic food, fresh food, vegetarian food, your mind is going to be affected by that positively. Your mind will become pure. And the more pure the mind is, the easier it is for you to think about God. It makes perfect sense. You are what you eat. Jaisa an, vaisa man. You can understand in this language or that language. It's the same thing. The food we eat, what we drink, affects not only our body, but also our mind. So, kusang can come in the form of food and drink. Kusang can come in many different ways. We have eyes, we have the power to see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. And kusang can come to us in any one of these forms. Kusang comes to us through people, associating with someone who is doing the wrong thing. But we say, I'm not affected. I am his friend, and I don't agree with what he does, but I am not like him. You'll become like him one day. You're not a saint that you can remain unaffected by the company you keep. हमारे गुरुदेव कहा करते थे कि तुम मैखाने में जाते जाओ, एक दिन पियक्कड़ हो ही जाओगे. You're going to the bar every day with your friend and you say, I just drink Coke or Pepsi. One day you will start drinking also. You will. In the same way, if you keep on coming to satsang, if you keep on coming to a good place, a place of worship, you will one day become a devotee. That will also have an influence on you. But that will have a slow influence. When you go to a worldly place, a bar and so on, that will have a very fast effect on you, on the mind. So the company we keep, we should be very mindful of that company. Although God lives in everyone, there's no doubt about it. God dwells in every single creature, not only in humans, but in every creature. Yet, there is a wonderful saying in Hindi which is dur se namaskar. Dur se namaskar karna, meaning I will not go near you. I will not come near you because your association will harm me, but I still respect you. From a distance, I will do namaskar to you. I will bow to the divinity within you, but I will stay away from you. And it's a wonderful saying. Dur se namaskar. We should not be hating that person, but we should hate that vice. Hate the sin, not the sinner. There should be no hatred for anyone because God is within everyone's heart. But that vice, if we go near this individual, this vice is going to affect us. So we should not go near, but we should respect him from a distance. Ramakrishna Paramahans used to tell a story about a Mahavat, an elephant driver. He went through the village warning the villagers, saying, my elephant has become mad, and so get out of the way, go and hide in your homes, don't come outside, my elephant is coming this way, charging through the village. Everyone went inside, locked their doors, but there was one man who said, no, I have heard that God is in every creature, so I will stand here right in the middle of the road. And he did. He had so much faith that God is within every creature. The elephant came charging and he trampled this man. Now this man had many, many broken bones. He was in a bad shape. When the elephant had passed through the village, people came out. And Mahavat also, the elephant driver, also said, my good man, did you not hear me give the warning to everyone? He said, I did. Why didn't you go and hide? He said, because God is in every creature. That's why. So that was elephant Brahma. So God is within the elephant, so I saw him as Brahma. So I did not get out of the way. To which the elephant driver said, but this reasoning is very faulty. Because you saw Brahma, you saw God in the elephant, but you did not see God in me. I was warning you to go away and go and hide yourself in your house, get out of the way. So you could not see God within me. You should have thought, God is warning me to protect myself. But you didn't see God in me. You saw God in the elephant. God is in everyone. But everyone's company is not going to be beneficial. So the company of the elephant was very damaging to this man. But if he had listened to the Mahavat, the elephant owner, the driver of the elephant, he would have been protected. So that's a nice lesson for all of us. We hear the story of Ajamil, who was an extremely pious man. His story is told in the Bhagavad Puran. He was a very pious man. He had elderly parents. He served them. He had a wife. She was a very good wife, chaste wife, and he was a very good, faithful husband to his wife. And they had children, and he was a good father, a good husband, a good son. He was a good citizen. He was a good devotee. And then one day, as he was picking flowers for daily worship, he saw a scene. He witnessed a scene that corrupted his mind very badly. And he saw it only for a second, no more. No more than a second. And his mind became so corrupt that he gave up. He gave up his life as he knew it. He renounced his elderly parents. He took away his money and he renounced his wife. He just left his wife and children. He left them without caring about what they will do in life. And he took up with a prostitute. He lived with her for years and years. They had children. He gave her all his money. And that is due to one moment of association. One moment, no more. We have to pay attention to these stories. This is reality. This is how it happened. One moment of kusang drowned him so much, took him down to such a level. And then in ripe old age, he came to his senses. And he thought, what have I done? There I was, such a pious man, a devotee of God. And then one moment's bad association took me down to this level. He came to his senses. There's a long story connected with that. But then he went to Haridwar. He practiced devotion and for 1 full year. And then he went to Vaikuntha Lok. He left his body willingly. But one moment is all it took for Ajamil to crash down. This is why it's so important for us to protect the devotion that we practice. Suppose that you have done your devotion, your sadhana in the morning for an hour or two. Then after that, what are you going to do after that? Well, after that, I'm just going to live my worldly life. What are your activities in daily life? Well, I'm going to go to work. Well, that's fine. What else are you going to do? I'm going to talk about lots of nonsense. I'm going to gossip with my fellow workers. I'm going to be fully absorbed in the world. That's what I'm going to do all day long. So that means you are wasting, you are just giving away the devotion you had accumulated. Imagine earning money, a good amount of money, then leaving it outside. I'll come back for it later. I'll just put it out here on the crossroads. Somebody's going to go away with that money. You won't find it afterwards. So I have practiced devotion, and then now I'm going to get involved with the world. That means that I am just going to give away my devotion that I have accumulated. Devotion is a state of mind. It's not just an activity that we should be performing once in a while, once a day. It's a state of mind. So everything in a sadhak's day, everything we do during the day, it has to align with the principles of devotion. What kind of words am I speaking? Are those kind words? Are they words that bring happiness to all? Are they encouraging words? Am I very harsh when I speak? Jagat Guru Tam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj used to say, Kam bolo, meetha bolo. Speak little and speak sweetly. Do I speak sweetly? What is my conduct like? How do I conduct myself? It cannot be that I am in the temple and I'm one person, different person. Then I go out there in the world and I'm totally different. I mean, you would think these are two different people. I'm so different. Devotion is something that, as I said, it's a state of mind. We need to live devotion. It's not something we need to practice once in a while. So everything we do in life, everything we do in a day, it has to reflect that I am a sadhak, I am an aspiring devotee. I want to be a devotee. I have understood. I'm trying to understand the aim of life. And I am convinced that life is more about just getting an education, getting a job, or getting into a business, earning money, getting married, having children, and that's it. And one day I'll die. I've understood that life is much more than that. It's more meaningful than that. So I'm practicing devotion under the guidance of my Gurudev. But that practice of devotion, it lasts all day long, not just a couple hours a day. The words I am speaking, are they in line with the principles of devotion? The food I'm eating, the shows I'm watching, the people I'm talking to, the people I'm listening to, the songs I'm listening to, the movies I'm watching, all this, does it all help me to become a devotee of God or not? And if it doesn't, then it should be discarded. It should be renounced. Another thing that Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj cautions us about is something that you would not really think to be a kusang, but it is. Once a gentleman, a seeker, he wrote to Shri Maharajji many, many years ago, and Shri Maharajji used to receive letters and he used to answer each and every letter personally. So one of the devotees in one part of India wrote to Shri Maharajji, who was in Uttar Pradesh, and said, Maharajji, I have I went to listen to so-and-so and so-and-so who has come to our town, and Maharajji, so many wrong things. I'm hearing so many wrong things. They're speaking incorrectly. Shri Maharajji scolded him, saying, who are you to decide who is right and who is wrong? I did not send you out there as a supervisor, as an examiner. I didn't ask you for a report on who is speaking which way. And tell me, how is it that you have so much time that you're going around listening to this one and that one? If you are sure about the path you're following, then go ahead and follow that path. Why are you still listening? Once you have decided on the path, you decided that this is my guru, you respect everyone else. You respect all the other gurus. But you can't be following everyone else. You have to follow one path. Now, depending on where you live, perhaps there are 3-4 different routes that you can take to come to Yugalkunj. But you took one you took one route, right? You took one path. You didn't take 2 or 3. So if the seeker has decided on the path, and the path is the path of devotion, and he says, this is my guru, and I have learned so much, and I'm still learning, and I'm on this path, and my guru has taught me to do this and this, then he should not be going around listening to everyone who comes. With all due respect, he must respect everyone, but he must use his time to do sadhana. What is there to listen to more? That means he's not satisfied. He's still looking for a guru. And that's fair enough. If someone is not satisfied, he should go looking. But once he decides, yes, this is it, then he should follow. If you're looking for water, the old traditional method, you dig the earth, and then you keep on digging. But you don't give up saying, oh, I just see stones. I found nothing but stones. Oh, I saw nothing but just dirt. That's all. There's no water. But if you had kept digging further and further, you would have found water. We can spend a whole lifetime digging here, digging there, and the whole lifetime will come to an end We have not found water. We have not decided on which guru to follow, which path to follow. And that's not intelligence. That's not intelligent. Some people are what I call professional listeners. They will listen to everyone. मुझे ना सुनने का शौक है. They say, I listen, I like to listen to everyone who comes. But you have listened for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. You have not made up your mind. No, अपना तो सिद्धांत है, सुनो सबकी करो मन की. I just do what I feel like doing. I listen to everybody though. Why? Because my ears are getting purified. कान पवित्र हो रहे. To purify the ears, to cleanse the ears, you need to go to a medical doctor. But when we listen, we need to cleanse our mind, purify our minds, not our ears. There was a businessman, and he had a son. When the son used to help his father in running the business. It was a grocery business. So when the son was old enough, the father said, now you must come to the mandir, must come to the temple with me. There are lectures going on. Pandit is giving lectures. So come with me and listen. So both of them, father and son, went to the temple and they listened. And Panditji was telling the story of Raja Harishchandra, who always spoke the truth. And the young man was so impacted, he started telling the truth. So when the customers would come, they would say, how much is this? He would say, well, we're selling it at a profit margin of 200%. This is how much it costs, but this is how much you will pay. And they were incensed. What? And they would go away. Is this any good? Is this dhania any good? Well, my father adds a lot of other things to it to make more of a profit. I must tell you truthfully. And so when the customers started going away and the father found out about this, and he grabbed the son's ears and he said, what are you trying to do? Are you my son or my enemy? What are you trying to do? Driving customers away. And he said, Father, I listened to the story of Harishchandra from Panditji and I decided to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. The father said, now, you fool, I will teach you how to listen to a lecture. Okay? Both of them went. It was a cold day in winter. Both of them were covered with the shawls. And they both went to the mandir, both did pranam. And father said, now lay your shawl in front of yourself. So he did. The son did exactly what the father did. And then said, now Panditji is going to speak. And then think, may all the words fall into this shawl. All the wonderful teachings, may they fall into this shawl. And the son did that. He's thinking, may all the wonderful teachings fall into this shawl. And he listened very, very carefully to what was being said. Now, when it was time to leave the temple, the father said, now, pick up the shawl. And the son was very careful. I've put all the nice teachings in the shawl, so he's picking it up very carefully. And he got up, and the father said, now, shake it out. Father, all the teachings will stay over here. I want to take them home with me. And the father said, you fool, this is the way to go to a temple and listen to a lecture. You just leave the teachings right here. You don't take them with you. You are so young, you don't know these things. But ask me, I've been listening to lectures for decades. And has anyone ever managed to change me? No, sir. I am the same as I was before. I listen to everyone, but I don't really accept anyone's teachings. I just leave them in the mandir. So, if you're following a true guru, and yet you are going around listening to this one and that one, that also is kusang. Because it doesn't seem like kusang, but it is. Because you're not making up your mind, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you're just listening. Reading a lot of scriptures is also not good for the devotee, aspiring devotee. Because these books, these holy books, they must be explained by a genuine guru. They cannot be understood by just reading. They cannot be understood. We cannot just recite these scriptures and think, oh, I understand. We cannot read them and claim to have understood. The most confused people in the world are the ones who have read a lot of scriptures. They are the ones who say, I brought the Vedas from India, And I brought the translation into Hindi or in English. And I have read the Purans. And then I have found so many faults in the scriptures. These are the most confused people because they were not eligible to read the scriptures, but they read them anyway. What will a kindergarten student understand from material that is designed for a PhD? He cannot. He may think he understands, but he understands nothing. So every scripture has a built-in clause that says, don't read me by yourself. You have a material mind and a material intellect. Your man and buddhi are very material. And you cannot understand these divine words of mine, so ask your guru. Guru will explain my message to you. Don't read me and think that you'll understand me. Ramayan itself says, Je Shraddha Sambal Rahit Nahi Santan Ko Saath Tin Kah Manas Agam Ati Ji Nahi Na Priya Raghunath. Who is eligible to read the Ramayan? One who loves Bhagwan Sri Ram more than the world. He loves Bhagwan Sri Ram the most. The one who, and also the one who has 100% faith in God. And the one who is guided by a guru. Now he is eligible to read the Ramayan. We don't have 100% faith. We don't love Bhagwan Sri Ram more than we love our family members. So we're not eligible. Sadhaks are not, aspiring devotees are not eligible to read the scriptures. This is why the guru has to explain the scriptures. Now the biggest kusang is when someone comes along and says, this so-called saint, so-called guru, is totally wrong. He is a worldly man. He is this and that. He's a crook and this and that. That, when you hear this is the biggest kusang. It's the most damaging kusang. Because to hear something against a true lover of God it is an offense that God does not forgive. Now you might say, maybe he's not. Maybe he's not real. Maybe, but what if he's real? What if that's a real saint, a real devotee of God, and you have committed an offense that is unpardonable? In the Ramayan it is said, Sunu Suresh Raghunath Subhau Nij aparadh risahin kahu Jo aparadh bhagat kar karahi Ram rosh pavak so jarahi. The Supreme Lord Ram, he's very gentle and he does not mind if someone offends him, if someone finds fault with him. But that gentle Ram becomes extremely angry when someone insults his true devotee, a true sant, a true saint, Mahatma, a guru. And then the gentle Ram becomes so angry that the offender burns in the fire of Ram's wrath. These are the words of the Ramayan. Ram rosh pavak so jarahi. जो भगवान के सच्चे भक्त का अपमान करता है वो भगवान के क्रोध की अग्नि में भस्म हो जाता है. भगवान उसको क्षमा नहीं करते. God finds that intolerable. And this is why it is so important not to insult anyone. Who knows who is a true saint? Who knows? We don't know. Na jaane kis roop mein Narayan mil jaye. We do not know. God may come in any form before us and we would not know. We would not find out that this is God. God has taken uncountable forms. So what if God is before us and we don't understand, we don't recognize him, and we commit an offense? What if it's a true guru, a true saint, a true lover of God, and we don't understand? We think, oh, he's just a worldly man. In their lifetime, the saints like Tulsidas, Surdas, Mirabai, they were all maligned. They were all insulted. People found lots of faults with them. And now 500 or so more, or a little more years later, we're all saying, oh, Tulsidas ji, Surdas ji, and we are singing their bhajans, the devotional songs they have composed, and we take such delight in singing them. But it is a fact that when a saint is on earth, he is mostly maligned. When he leaves, then he, after some time, he is praised and he becomes venerable. Therefore, wisdom lies in not insulting anyone, not thinking ill of anyone. Because we do not know that the other person, whether the other person is a saint or not, or how great a devotee this is. You see, when we insult a person who's very worldly, that is a wrong thing to do. And it's damaging to the mind, our mind. But if that person is a seeker, then our offense, and we insult him, we find fault with him, then the offense is even greater. If that seeker, if that person is a very high level devotee, then our offense, the offense we have committed, the consequences are even more damaging. And if that is a God-realized soul, then the damage is tremendous. It's that, like I said, that damage is so bad that even God does not forgive that sin. Once a man came to visit me and he said, he tried to tell me something against a saint. And I said, no, I do not wish to hear this. He said, you should know because you are preaching. I said, thank you very much, but I do not wish to hear this. And he said, all right. But then he said, do you see God in everyone? And I said, I try. I do try to see God in everyone. It's a fact, God is in everyone, but I do try. And he said, but I really do see God in everyone. Oh, interesting. He said, I see God even in a little choti si chinti mein, machhar mein. Mujhe Bhagwan dikhte hain. I see God in even a little creature like an ant or a mosquito. And I had to say that's wrong. That's not true. Sorry, that's not true, sir. And he was taken aback. I guess he was looking at my age. At that time, I was in my early 30s, and he was twice my age. So he was probably looking at my age, and he said, oh, what does she know? And he said, oh, you say that this is not true, but I'm telling you this is the truth. I said, sir, you could not see God in a saint, one who is doing so much good work around the world, and you tell me that you see God in an ant and a mosquito? What was his reaction? He was taken aback. He didn't know what to say. As he was leaving, he said, Bhul chuk maaf, please forgive me. And I said, who am I to forgive you? You must ask for forgiveness from the one you have offended. I don't know who this is, but I've heard he preaches so much and he has done so much good throughout the world, and you have come here trying to tell me against him. So you must ask forgiveness from the one you have offended. You have not offended me. You have offended someone else, and you must ask for forgiveness. Then you'll be forgiven. So the biggest, the most, I should say most damaging kusang is when we think against a true saint, a true lover of God, one who is here on earth just to give spiritual benefit to the world, without any selfish agenda, without any selfish motive. These saints come to this earth and they spend a whole lifetime just working with people, worldly people like us. And we put them in jail sometimes, we hang them to the cross, we give them poison, we hurl choicest abuses on them. And after they're gone from the world, we start worshipping them. We start praising them, and they become venerable to us. We become devoted to them. We say, Tulsi Das Ji, Goswami Tulsi Das Ji. We speak with reverence about them. But we must keep in mind that the one we are insulting may be a true guru. And then that offense is unpardonable. So wisdom lies not just in earning a lot of devotion, but in protecting the devotion we have accumulated. It's like a person who earns a lot of money. He earns 10,000 a month, let's say. Okay, 100,000 a month. A lot of money. but he spends 110,000 a month. What good is it that he's earning so much money? He is in debt. 10,000 a month. He's in debt 10,000 a month. On the other hand, there is someone who is earning 5,000 a month, but he managed to save a good chunk of that money. So he's the wiser one. So if we say, I do a lot of devotion, and then I'm very careless, I just throw it all away, that's not wise. But if we are accumulating devotion, and even if it's not so much, but we are really being careful to protect it and to keep it without wasting it, then we are being very intelligent. So this is yet another message we learn from the Ramayan. The Ramayan teaches us lessons that are useful to us in daily life. These scriptures are not far removed from us. They are actually part of our lives. They teach us how to live. They teach us the art of living a productive life. The art of living life in the way that that God meant for us to live it. We come to this world and we don't know anything much. We don't know. And so we need a guru to teach us about God. We need a guru to teach us about ourselves. We need a guru to teach us about the mind and how the mind works and how to control the mind and how to form relationships with God. We need all that. And from the Ramayan, we learn all that. So we are very grateful to the Ramayan. We are grateful to Goswami Tulsidas Ji, and so grateful to Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, who has explained all that I have shared with you in these 6 days. Boliye Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai, Siyavar Ramchandra ki Jai, Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. A natural question after hearing lectures is, sometimes you have questions. So if you have a question, you can raise your hand. Another natural thought that should come in the mind is, now what? What do I do now? When we listen to lectures, we are given a glimpse into the philosophy of a guru. And here you have heard the philosophy of Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj. Lectures are very important. We must listen to lectures. But then there's a next step that has to be taken. Our scriptures say the first thing you do is to listen, to understand what is being said. So first thing to do is to do shravan, listen. Second is manan, to go over in your mind what you have heard. And the third step is nididhyasan, and to decide and on what you're going to do and to follow those teachings. So after hearing the philosophy of Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj, if you are thinking, what do I do next? The next thing to do is to come here to Yugalkunj, to listen to more teachings, and to become a part of this weekly satsang over here that takes place every Saturday morning. Be part of the celebrations that will take place. This Friday we are celebrating Shivratri. Be a part of that. Be a volunteer here and come over here and be a part of this mandir as it is being developed. Very soon, in a few months, we will not be sitting here, we'll be sitting behind in our beautiful mandir, which will have Sri Radha Krishna Murtis, Sri Sitaram Murtis, Hanumanji's Murti, Murti of baby Radha being held in the arms of Kirti Maiya, her mother. We will have the Murtis of Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj and the preceding 4 Jagat Gurus. Adi Jagat Guru Shankaracharya, Jagat Guru Nimbarkacharya, Jagat Guru Ramanujacharya, Jagat Guru Madhvacharya, and then Panchamul Jagat Guru. Gurudev, Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj. So we'll be sitting there, and then you'll remember these days when you used to come and used to meet over here, and all the events took place over here. So be a part of Yugalkunj as it is developing. Be a part of it. Because this mandir is guided by a Jagat Guru. It's a huge privilege. It's an unimaginable privilege, in fact. A guru is special by himself. A guru, to have a guru. Someone who's Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam, one who has complete theoretical knowledge of all scriptures. Because he's God realized. He's Brahmanist as well. That is a privilege by itself. A divine privilege. But to have Jagat Guru in your life, and you're listening to his teachings, that is an incredible fortune, great fortune. And then someone who is known as Jagat Guru Tam, best of all Jagat Gurus who have graced this earth. This is mind-boggling. It is absolutely mind-boggling. So when you come to Yugalkunj, you will hear the philosophy of scriptures as explained by Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj. So you'll never hear one thing one day and something totally different the next day. Or 1 year you hear one philosophy, next year you hear the other philosophy. The philosophy is the same. It's explained in so many ways, but there is a set philosophy. It's not like one speaker will come and say one thing, another will come and say totally different, and then you say, well, what should I believe? The one who said this or the one who is saying that? And then there was another one who said something totally different. That becomes very confusing. But here there is no confusion. And the emphasis is on loving God selflessly, never asking God for anything, just loving him selflessly without any selfishness. Loving him because he alone is mine. That's enough reason to love him. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva. He's my everything. So that's all the reason I need to love him. I don't love him because I want more wealth from him or better health from him or a better job or I want to get married to someone good. That's why I come to the mandir. This mandir is not for that. You will not be taught that. Never will you be taught that. You'll be taught only selfless devotion. That the devotion, the love that the gopis have for Sri Krishna, that is the love that will be talked about all the time over here. So be a part of this mandir if you like, if you want to make further progress in your devotional practice. And the resources are right here. And join me and devotees and other devotees in celebrating Shivratri this Friday. And then Saturdays are regular satsang from 10 to 12:30, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And so this is all that's going on in the near future, in this coming week. And personally, I'm available to anyone to ask questions. If you would like to, even many people, they email me or they get in touch with me somehow to ask questions, you may do that. And I like to be available to answer the questions, spiritual questions that anyone has. So I just wanted to let you know that all this is available to you. Go to our website, go to our YouTube page, and all that is available. So these days there's so many resources. We have a 24-hour internet radio available to you. That is Kripalu Bhakti Radio on radhamadhavsociety.org. So you can go there and take advantage of that as well. वहाँ पे हिंदी में प्रवचन है श्री महाराज जी के, इंग्लिश में है हमारे और औरों के भी महाराज जी के प्रचारकों के. वहाँ पे भजन कीर्तन है श्री महाराज जी के, तो आप सब सुन सकते हैं. रिसोर्सेज बहुत सारे हैं आपके लिए, आप उपलब्ध कर सकते हैं उनको. ठीक है. And if anyone is more interested, you can check out Sri Maharaj Ji's philosophy books. Philosophy of Divine Love is a must for every seeker, either in Hindi, preferably in Hindi. That is Prem Ras Siddhant. And if you don't know Hindi, then the next best thing is to get it in the English translation, Philosophy of Divine Love. That's available in our gift shop. And in the future, we'll have a bigger, more elaborate gift shop. But the philosophy books are going to be the same. So you can get yourself a copy and gain a lot of knowledge from that. Jai Shri Radhe. Please stand for Aartis.